Schumacher. Schumacher.
don't know how he found out about us, but this gentleman has seen more racing than anybody out here. He must have a dream job. World's #1 track chaser, Randy Lewis, is joining us here tonight. And Randy, tell us, where do you come from?
I live in San Clemente, California, and my hobby is something called track chasing. It's the idea of going around the country and actually the world, trying to see racing at as many different places as I can.
Let's talk about the travel in that. How many different places have you been? I'm sure you've covered most of the U.S. by now. How extensive does it get?
I'll tell you, just this year, I think Iowa is my 22nd state that I've seen racing in this season, as well as a couple of states in Mexico and 3 Canadian provinces. But overall, tonight is my 2,340th track. And I heard you call it the Wall Lake International Speedway. I think that's a pretty impressive name, so that's going to go down in my records under that name.
Well, I think self-proclaimed, but it works out pretty well for us. So all these different races, tell us the different style stuff you've been, because there are plenty of different things people like to put out there and race.
You know, this is now a 12-month a year hobby. In the wintertime, January and February, I'll see ice racing, primarily in Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. Ontario has a lot of ice racing, in Quebec. Also saw my first ever ice race this winter in Saskatchewan, so that was pretty good for us. Then in the springtime, you kind of go down to the south, and as the weather gets warmer, you kind of move on up. By the time we get to about this time of the year, it's county fair season. A couple of nights ago, we were down in Kentucky on Wednesday night. Thursday night, we were in Indiana. Last night over in Newton, Iowa, for some go-kart racing on a really beautiful little high-banked kart track. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be Cambridge, Illinois. A couple weeks ago, it was Colorado. Saw the NASCAR race in Talladega. I think this is my 49th different track I've seen this year.
Well, when you talk about getting out and seeing racing and things like that, how do you find out about some of these events, like figure 8 racing here in Wall Lake?
I guess you would call it my job. It's not really a job, but it's a heavy-duty hobby, and with the internet, it makes it a lot easier, and Facebook and all that stuff. You guys have a pretty good presence on Facebook. If anybody wants to check out what I'm doing, after every race I attend, I will post a YouTube video, a photo album, and this entire story about the day. It's on my website, and the best way to find it, I think, is just to do a Google search for World's #1 Track Chaser, and you'll find what I'm doing. A big part of what this hobby includes is just the idea of seeing local things. This morning, my wife and I toured the Iowa State Capitol, which was beautiful. One of the better things that we've seen in a long time. We did some antique shopping, and this afternoon, Craig was nice enough to set us up with a private tour of the Andy Williams birthplace. Had a couple of ladies come over and talk to us about that. That was very cool. So we've done just about everything along this track chasing road. I've seen a baseball game in every major league park. I've seen a lot of basketball games. In the wintertime, I've been down to the Iowa High School Basketball Championships for a weekend, and tied that in with the tour of Knoxville and their museum down there. And you guys have some really good basketball. And before I forget about it, I was at the Iowa Hall of Pride, I think it's called, over in Des Moines, and very impressed with some young lady about 20 years ago who made 83 out of 84 free throws for the season. I don't think there's a basketball player in any league anywhere who's ever done something like that.
Yeah, some great accomplishments. Sounds like you've seen a lot of great things. My big question now is, you've seen a lot of racing. Have you ever tightened up the belts and tried to do it yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. From time to time, people will ask me when I show up if I'd like to race. First time that happened was in England, and they gave me a Ford, I think it might have been a Capri, English Capri, right side steer, left hand gear shift, obviously sitting on right side and driving in a clockwise fashion, or actually a counterclockwise fashion. And they start like 10 cars in a row and you just take off, and that was a lot of fun. I've done a lot of ice racing, which isn't nearly as slick as you might expect, and just did a race here up in Utah last year in the mini modified, and a friend of mine texted me after I finished the race. He saw it on one of the computer TV programs, which was interesting.
Well, Randy, we appreciate you taking some time and coming over, making sure Wall Lake International Speedway gets put on that map for the world's #1 track chaser. And again, I encourage people to Google that, check out things that Randy's got going, and I'm sure you're going to have some photos and videos posted of your trip here tonight.
I definitely will. I've been on the road for a while, so it'll be another week or two before that gets up, but please check it out. I'll just tell you this, you guys are very fortunate to have a promotion group that has set up something like this. This is one of the better figure eight tracks that I've seen. I've seen almost 300 of them, and you've got grandstands and an announcer. Not most, but quite a few figure eight tracks don't do that, or if they do, they don't have a very good speaker system. So you guys have a real good setup here. I hope everybody in the area supports it, because I see a lot of this, and this is one of the best places for figure eight racing I've seen, so you should be proud of that.
Well, I appreciate your time, Randy, and enjoy the rest of the races tonight. How about a big round of applause for Randy Lewis? Going to make sure we get on that map, make sure he gets us marked down. So thanks a lot, Randy.
Yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to me about track chasing. I really appreciate it.
All right, folks, we're in intermission. Make sure you grab yourself a drink, some food, and if you're thinking about a new career, you'll probably see Randy around here for a little bit. Maybe he can talk to you about how you get into